Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Mushinin's Big Tree Castle, which is by far the largest playset in the Mushinin toy line so far. Kind of the home base, the large secret tree house of the Mushinin, which I think is pretty cool. You can see here on this side it shows, what it looks like from the back, which is what it kind of looks like in nature, so no one can tell what it is, and then boom, all this craziness is going on inside. So really neat playset. The only Mushinin figure that actually comes with this is the Kabutonin, shown here. All the rest are from other sets. But the whole point of this line is to collect and connect. So this does have connectability with other play sets from the line, and I'll show that off a little bit later. But massive box. As you can see, I can barely fit it in frame. I believe this was about $50. I got mine from Amazon Japan because HLJ was sold out by the time I decided to pick mine up. And I think when I looked at just shipping this by itself, it was basically the same price of the toy again. So I bought a bunch of other stuff to kind of make the shipping worth it. But it's a large box. It's fairly, not heavy, but just it has a bulk to it. Here's an Imaginext Batman figure for scale, just to give you some kind of idea. So it's a fairly large box. Not the biggest ever, but it's fairly large. So front of the box, very colorful, very fun, very inviting to kids. Taking a look at the top, just has some fun illustrations of the characters. I like this guy's like passed out. A little bit of the story of Mushinin in there, which unfortunately I cannot read. Taking a look at the bottom, very similar. Some of the warnings and things. And then on this side, it shows off all of the contents of the box. There is a little bit of assembly required, but it's very basic. And then if we take a look at this side, it shows off some of the features. How it has the kind of opened and closed expanded mode, and again the back. And then if we flip the box around, it gets into all of the play features. There's a ton of cool stuff going on. It shows the connectability with the other sets down here. You can see you have a trap door with a roll-away little cart. You have a jail cell, secret entrance, another secret entrance over here. You have a little elevator. So, of course, we will take a look at all of that. But definitely a lot of fun to be had with this set. So, very fun. The box is definitely very colorful and fun. And I'm sure would excite any small child. But let's go ahead and get into the set itself. I'll assemble it. If there's any stickers or anything, we'll get to that. And then I will show you all the features. So I'll probably apologize now, but I'll do my best to keep this all in shot at once. It's a very large castle, so it'll be a little difficult to keep it all, probably go level by level to show off some of the features. But right out of the box, right off the bat, I'm going to say all of the stickers are pre-applied. There is no sticker sheet with this, nothing you have to put on yourself. There's a lot of fun stickers, but I love the fact that I don't have to apply them myself. I'm not a huge fan of stickers, so that was a big plus for me. There is a little bit of assembly, but it's very basic. Most of it is just kind of like hook the second level in, hook this little house piece into the second level, put the ramp together and hook that on. The jail cell was kind of the four pieces, like four walls that you just plug in and then plug the roof on top, but we'll get into all that as we go. You can see down here that there are a couple accessories. Here is the Kabutonin that comes with this. He's a slightly different expression than the one that came with the tree set. But otherwise the arms move. Nicely detailed, but that's pretty much it for articulation. You also get this little table, which you can see is part of a ruler. You get this thing that, to me, it looks like a cooler, but I think it's supposed to be like a chest. Just a random little box. It does look like it has a lock on the front there. And then you have this kind of idol. I'm not quite exactly sure what this is supposed to be. It looks like something that would like hang on the wall in a church or something like that. And then you get a ladder. Very kind of standard ladder there. So I think the first thing I'll do is turn it around so that we can see. Oh, I forgot this little piece. This is just a little weapons shelf. You can see here you get a katana, a throwing star, and then I'm not quite sure what that is. It looks like a screwdriver. I assume it's some kind of throwing weapon. So yeah, I wish there was somewhere that this mounted onto the wall, but it doesn't. You just kind of sit it around wherever you want. But I do appreciate that it can hold all 3 of the weapons that are included. So as I was saying before I had to quick jump, I'm going to spin it around and show you the back of it so you can see the kind of tree facade, which is pretty neat. So here's the back of it where it resembles a tree. You can see all the pieces have a little bit of foliage in the tree trunk. And then also here on the side, you can see that there's a little hole so that they can enter. And you can hear that it clicks. There's a metal piece in there for the magnet to attach to. And it's actually kind of cool. You can see it almost looks like a well. And this can spin. And you can hear it bringing up the elevator inside. And that's about as high as it can go, but you can reach back in and get him out of there. And of course it has levels inside that it can get to as well. But I think that's pretty cool. I like the little elevator gimmick. So we'll come back to that a little bit more later on. There's also another gimmick here right off the front. You can see that there's kind of a little rectangle piece of plastic, and what it is a door. So you can see right here, if you zoom in, as I will do for you, there's a little symbol right there. Anytime you see that symbol, it means there's a magnet that activates a feature in one of the play sets. So if we take him and we just put the little magnet in his feet, you can see that that slides open. So it's kind of a secret entrance. And then you just slide it back closed. So I think that's pretty neat as well. And then we'll keep spinning it around. And I believe I lost the... There we go. So we come around to the back, or the kind of really the front of the playset. This is where all the action happens. We'll take a look at the area down here. To really get a good look at the bottom floor, I'm going to open up the playset. And how this works, the second floor really isn't hooked in any specific way. It just kind of sits in. When you spin this, you can see how it opens up, but this really just kind of sits in here. So how this works, there's a little track, a little piece of plastic that just sits into a track right here around the tree that serves as the elevator. So that kind of just sits in there, and then as you spin it around, it hits a natural stopping point. And you can kind of see there's a little nub right here, and it kind of hits that and stops. And then when you pull it the other way, it hits a natural stopping point. So that's kind of neat. It gives you 2 different ways to play with the toy. So I think that's really fun. The reason I did that was because it's a little bit easier to see. Although actually, I'm just going to take this part off for the moment, as silly as that sounds, so we can get a good look at the bottom floor here. Now you can see the jail cell. The jail cell, very simply, this part just falls down. You can put anyone you want inside and close it back up. The other thing you can do is actually remove the entire jail cell, and you'll see that there is a little open area underneath there, and that's where the box at least suggests that you put this idol. You can hide it under there, so it's kind of like that's where they hide their treasure. And it's kind of funny that the most unlikely place under the jail cell itself would be where they hide their treasure. And you can see here the jail cell just has 4 pegs, and you just peg it back into those 4 pegs there. So that's pretty cool. The other main feature, aside from the door and the elevator, which I've already shown you, if we were to crank the elevator all the way back down, you can see that it comes down and they can actually enter through this area here. But they have this spinning wall where you can see there's a screw. Anywhere there's a screw, the Mushinin will attach to. And then the wall just spins around and they can enter that way. Now, I wish it kind of like stopped, but you really could just spin it around as fast as... Oops, he's fun right now. So it's just kind of like it spins around. He goes over here. You can spin it back around. And if you look on this side, it just has kind of the stone design, but if you spin this around, it has a portrait, which is actually just a stamp, and then some kind of, almost looks like a certificate or something, like a little seal there. So I think that's a cool little feature, though. I really like this feature in the back, but I really like this as well. So there's 3 ways to enter this bottom floor. And you can see there's bars on the window over here to fit the jail cell facade. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and reattach the middle section so we can take a look at that. I'm going to show the second and third levels together since their gimmicks are really kind of codependent. How this works is very similar to the small vehicle for the sneaker base that we saw. This has a tab that extends out the bottom. Now, when a Mushinin is connected via magnet, it draws the tab inside, thereby clearing the little tab that's here on the track and allowing it to race down the ramp. So the tab that sticks out, as you see there, will stop this from falling. As soon as the magnets apply, the tab will go in, and then that can come down the ramp. So the top section up here has another feature right here. When you attach this, it makes these 2 trapdoors open. So to reset it, you have to push this back in, and then you can click these back up. So I'm going to need a second Mushinin for this, but if I sit Kabutonin here on the trapdoor, and then I have my second Mushinin come in and connect, as you can see there, he will fall through the trapdoor, land into the little cart, and then the magnets will connect, this will withdraw, and then he will come down the ramp. And I'll show off the ramp a little bit more later. But I think that's pretty cool. It's a fun little feature. And then, like I said, you just push this back in and click these. Now, it also has this green button here, and that can also make the trapdoors open. So if you didn't have a second Mushinin figure, you could still play with it without that. But I do appreciate that both ways work. I think it's fun to have the second Mushinin do it, but in case this was the first toy you ever got and you didn't have a second one, I think it's fun that they at least have the button so you could do that. And as you can see, there's stickers down in here. All down here. I love this straw that they have pinned to the wall, I guess to get nectar for them. I think that's pretty adorable. You can see there are some plans down there drawn on the wall with a couple acorns and other various things. So it's just fun. I think they really commit to the atmosphere that these are little bug ninjas, and so they would have various human things, you know, because they seem so large to them, and the whole motif I think is very, very fun. So I've gone ahead and opened the playset again, and you can see there's 2 little holds here. You can go ahead and put the ladder here if you want. It won't quite reach the ground, but I feel like a Mushinin would still be able to climb it, as you can see right there. It's meant to go here when it's closed up, and there is a place that we can put it when we go back over there, and I'll show that in a minute. But I wanted to show off the cart racing down again. So I'm going to go ahead and put Kabutonin where he goes, and then activate the gimmick. And you can see it rolls all the way out. So I think that's really fun. It's a silly, goofy little feature, but I like it quite a bit. And then the other thing is when you have it open like this, obviously you can have this kind of covered area feels more like part of the base. So it kind of expands your play area, and you can still have him enter here with the gimmick. So I feel like it's just really neat, and it really expands your play area and just kind of makes it feel like a more inclusive playset. When you have it closed up, it's still fun, but seems small. With this, it kind of, again, expands it and makes it feel larger. The other thing that's very cool, if you have this ramp, you can just lift right off. And if you do have the sneaker base, you can open this up and allow me to quickly transform it. I spoke before about how this had connectors right here and here, and that just connects right to the base. just like that. And now that same cart will be able to roll down the sneaker base. Oops. Alright, let's get this to roll down onto the sneaker base. There we go. I don't know why I had trouble with it the first time. It just seemed like this didn't line up 100%, but you can get it to click in a little bit more solid. It just seems like the edges of the ramp here are a little bit more narrow than the ramp here. So you just kind of have to make sure they line up pretty perfectly, otherwise it will get caught on the edge of the sneaker base, unfortunately. But with this ramp that comes with it, it's a lot more forgiving, and it'll roll very, very nicely. Another feature this base has is that it does have the connection points underneath. There's one here, and there's one over here in front by the ladder, where you can connect the bridge pieces that come with the smaller playset so that you can connect them together. That way you can come right across the bridge into the spinning wall, or go over here and get some burgers when you're hungry. I think this playset's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of great play features that I think kids are really going to enjoy. It's got the connectability with the other bases, the colorful stickers, just a lot of fun play features, the transforming aspect to kind of expand the scope of play with the playset. I think it's fun. It's a goofy little toy line that's just kind of won me over. The figures themselves are very simple, but I think they have a lot of potential to collect a lot of them, which is really fun because they're so small and relatively inexpensive. You can collect a bunch. The expressions are great. The kind of detail in the paint, the design all over has been a lot of fun. Yes, they only have the arms as points of articulation, but the little weapons they come with are also really neat. And I just think it's been a really fun ride. I'm excited to see the continuation of the toy line. There still is some more stuff coming out. I feel like this has kind of been the first wave. I know they don't really have official waves of toys in Japan like they do here in the US, but I feel like I've reviewed most of the stuff from the first, what I'm considering first wave, with this kind of being the crown jewel of that wave. It's a neat little playset. I think at $50, that's fairly reasonable for all the little action features and everything that you get. The only thing is the shipping, because it's a large box, so you do kind of get smashed on the shipping, but I definitely think it's worth the effort, and it's a lot of fun because of all the play features, the connectability, just everything I've already mentioned. But if you're a fan of this toy line, I definitely think this is the playset to pick up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.